Hi, and welcome back to Lucama's Pajama Storytime. I'm Miss Pam, and I hope you all are doing well. So we're in the month of April, and we know that April showers bring May flowers. But did you know that in the month of April, we also celebrate Earth Day? And we live on Earth, and so we should know some things about that, right? But before we go into finding out more fun facts about Earth Day, let's try and break the ice a little bit. So here you go. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, if you're ready for a story, clap your hands. So how many of you are ready for a story? Well, let's get started. The first book I have for you is It's Earth Day, Tiny, and this is written by Carrie Meister and illustrated by Rich Davis. It's Earth Day, Tiny, and that's Tiny. Not so tiny, is he? But let's find out what they learn about Earth Day. Guess what, Tiny? It's Earth Day. What can we do to help? My friend So Young told me there's an Earth Day fair at the park. Let's check it out. Good idea, Tiny. We may need the wagon. You never know. Earth Day is about taking care of our planet. We already recycle things like paper, glass, and plastic, and try not to waste water. We want to do more. What else can we do? Wait, Tiny, where are you going? That's garbage, Tiny. Yuck. Let's throw it in a trash can. Do you see one? Well, we can't just leave it on the ground. That's littering. We'll just put it in the wagon for now. Maybe there will be a trash can up ahead. Where are you going now, Tiny? Oh, you found more garbage? Good boy. Do you see a trash can now? I don't see one either. Woof! Good idea, Tiny. Let's clean up all the garbage we see on our way to the park. Wow, says So Young. Where did you get all that trash? We picked it up on the way. Dr. Zhang smiles at me and Tiny. That's a great way to celebrate Earth Day. I didn't think of it that way. I guess you're right. It was all Tiny's idea. After we empty the garbage into a big dumpster, Dr. Zhang asks if we can help him plant some trees in the park. Tiny and I agree. Can we use your wagon to carry the trees from my truck to the far side of the park? Of course, I say. We load up all the little trees into the wagon. Dr. Zhang sighs as he looks in the back of the truck. I forgot the shovels. How can we plant trees without shovels to dig up the dirt? Oh, I know a way. Dr. Zhang shows us where he plans to put the trees. Okay, Tiny, dig here. Tiny is so happy to help that he digs and digs. Stop, Tiny, stop. That's too big of a hole. But Tiny doesn't hear me. His head is too deep in the hole. Finally, I get him to stop digging. Dr. Zhang and So Young are covered in dirt. I tell them that we are very sorry. Dr. Zhang and So Young, they just laugh. I guess you were right, says Dr. Zhang. We certainly don't need shovels with Tiny around. Tiny helps us refill the big holes so that it is just a little hole. Tiny digs some more small holes for the other trees. Then we plant the trees and water them. Thanks for your help today, Dr. Zhang says to Tiny, patting him on the head. You're a great digger. We couldn't have done it without you. Woof! Happy Earth Day, Tiny. And that was It's Earth Day, Tiny. And so we found out that they were doing some great things by picking up litter along the way and picking up garbage and plastic bottles. And those are all things that we can do as well in our communities and in our neighborhoods. So you say, Ms. Pam, what could I do? So one small action will lead to big things happening. So you know what? You can pick up someone else's abandoned plastic bottle and put it in the recycle bin. That way, it doesn't become part of trash that goes into our waters and our oceans and our lakes and streams. You can not flush things down in the toilet like plastic Q-tips and cotton swabs. Those things get stuck out into the waterways and they become hazardous and dangerous for the animals and for the fish. If you see a plastic bag tangled in a bush, you can take it out and then put it in the garbage once you get home, because those things can cause the animals to get them wrapped around their necks or in their mouths, and then they can't breathe. So there's a lot of things you can do when you go to the beach. If you guys go to the beach, you can pick up any litter and trash that you see on the grounds. And so you could be doing things like this, picking it up so that you can put it in the trash, making sure your plastic bags don't get caught up for the animals. And there's lots of things like that that you can do. So you need to be observant when you see paper on the ground, pick it up. Don't throw, when you finish eating your potato chips or your candy, don't just throw it on the ground. That's not a good thing, and it doesn't help our environment. And that's being conscious and helping to celebrate the planet that we call Earth. So here's our next story, and it is Fancy Nancy. Every day is Earth Day. And this is written by Jane O'Connor. Every day is Earth Day. That sounds pretty interesting. So let's see what Fancy Nancy has to say. I do not like the color green very much. You can tell by my crayons. The green ones look almost new. But I adore being green. Adore is fancy for really, really loving something. Being green means taking care of our planet. Miss Glass asks, who can tell us about Earth Day? I wave my hand and say, it is like a holiday for our planet. That's right. But I like to think that every day is Earth Day. Our class discusses rules for being green. Discuss means to talk, only it's fancier and more serious. Then we write the rules down. At home, I am shocked. I see that my family needs to be much greener. My dad is about to drive to the supermarket. Dad, I say the green rule is less than a mile, then bike in style. At the checkout line, the guy asks my dad if we want paper or plastic bags. I say to my dad, please take note. Always bring a tote. Tote is a fancy word for shopping bag. Later that night, it gets cold. My mom wants to turn up the heat. No, Mom, I say, it's better to wear a sweater. In the morning, I stand outside the bathroom. Very soon I shout, Dad, don't waste water. Get clean, but stay green. At school, we each make a poster. Robert says, we are like superheroes. We are protecting the planet. That night, I see that my mom's computer is on. Right away, I turn it off. My mom comes into the room. She sees the blank screen. Why did you do that? She asks. I tell her she is wasting energy. I was writing something for work, my mom says. I just went to get my glasses. Now I lost everything I wrote. I have to start all over. She is very irritated. That is fancy for mad. But how was I to know? I am just protecting the planet. I tell my sister not to run water while she brushes her teeth. I remind my parents to turn off lights in empty rooms. Before bed, I go into my sister's room. I start to turn off her lamp. Oh no, my mom says, your sister is afraid of the dark. She likes the light on. Soon my sister is asleep. Now she does not need the light on. I tiptoe into her room and turn off her light. In the middle of the night, I wake up. I hear my sister crying. What is wrong? Your sister woke up and got scared, Dad says. She was alone in the dark. Did you turn off her lamp? Yes, I say. I am so sorry. I didn't think she would wake up. I start crying too. The next morning, my parents say, it is important to be green and we will try harder, but you must not be so bossy and you must be flexible. That is the opposite of stubborn. At school, I perk up. Miss Glass adores my poster. My green crayon does not look new anymore. My family really is greener now. Tonight at dinner, we use candles, not light bulbs. We use cloth napkins, not paper ones. Guess what? Being green can also be very fancy. And so those are some of the things that they learned by Earth Day is every day. Every day is Earth Day. And Fancy Nancy says, less than a mile, always less than a mile, then you should bike in style. You don't have to drive your car. Please take a note. Always bring a tote, a reusable bag. In cold weather, keep the room temperature low. It's better to wear a sweater. And don't waste water. Get clean, but stay green. And those were some quick tips from Fancy Nancy. So I hope you guys learned some things today. You can celebrate Earth Day every day, and you can be greener and do things that will help the planet. And so I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time here at Lucama. I'm Miss Pam signing off. Stay green and be clean. Bye-bye.